Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the channel Joe Rocks. Hope that everybody's doing well. I'm back with a haul video. This is strictly vinyl. Some brand new stuff that I just received yesterday and October 10th. And well, it was just released yesterday as well. But and then some stuff I'm just filling in gaps in my collection. So like I said, strictly vinyl. But at the end of this, there's two downloads I want to talk about really quick and just mention because and one came out about 6-7 months ago or so, and I haven't mentioned it because I don't have a physical copy. I've kind of forgotten about it, and I've listened to it, but I've just kind of forgotten to talk about it. So, and I don't generally mention downloads, I guess. So, anyway, I'll do the new stuff first and then go from there. So. Picked up the new Frail album, released by Napalm Records. Heretics and Lullabies is their third studio album. Gothic, atmospheric doom. I am familiar with their previous two albums, 1692 and Skin and Sorrow. I have those on CD. So this is actually the first vinyl I have from them. So let me get this open. There's been some very cool doom coming out this year, especially like gothic stuff, which I do like quite a bit, like Tribunal, Opia. I know there's one more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but this is a gatefold. There's the back. They did release a couple songs here. I think they released Heretic. I know that, because that's the one I remember watching the video, and then a song, the opening track, Walking Wounded, which was really good. That one I also listened to. They also have a cover of a Lana Del Rey song. I think it's Summertime Sadness, I believe that's the one. So here we go, gatefold. Lyrics. Pretty cool picture there on the side, on the other side. So that's all lyrics, and then with some credits on the bottom here, credits on the bottom there. Usually there's no insert, and there's like, they do that, so I'll double check. Yeah, there is an insert. I was wrong. It's kind of a small booklet. Some just kind of photographs. So. Alright, pretty nice. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's get a look at the vinyl. They had two variants that I saw. And I got through Indie Merch, but Napalm Records, I think Napalm Records now releases their stuff through Indie Merch, or that's how the distributor. So they also had like a red swirl maybe variant from what I remember, but this is like white and red swirl, I believe. So, alright, very cool. Alright, also this was kind of talked about somewhat in the metal community, the guys that I have sometimes a hard time saying the name, Sanguisugabogg, I think I got it right that time. Hideous Aftermath is their third studio album also. Their last album, I can't remember the title of it. Is it Horrific something? Well, I have to look it up again. I've heard that one, Homicidal something. I'm not familiar with the debut. I've heard their second one. These guys are a lot more on the brutal side. So we'll see how this one sounds. This one is also a gatefold, it feels so good. This was put out by Century Media. Back. I also saw that there was a couple of guest vocals on here from the guy from Nails. I can't remember his name. His name slips my mind. And then the guy from Travis Ryan, Cattle Decapitation. Let's look at the vinyl. I think it's clear. Yes, clear. Very cool. Can't wait to spin this. I'm going to be spinning these two during the weekend for sure. Let's see, make sure there's an insert. They have some cool artwork, I can tell you that, or artwork to go along with their music, with their stuff. There's a band, some half zombified faces, looks like. Alright, that's cool. Make sure there's nothing else in there. No. Alright. Just back in. Okay. Alright, Sandra Sugabog, Hideous Aftermath. Brand new. Also, I slept on this one. I actually talked about this in my short video of my my top 5 death metal albums so far. That's the debut album from Impurity. This is the Eternal Sleep. It's death metal from Sweden. This was released by Hammerheart Records. I have streamed this, and when it first came out, which I believe was in March, I did stream a few songs and just never went back to it. And I liked it, I just never went back to it. So, I'm not sure why I slept on it as long as I did. It's just black vinyl. But I finally picked it up, so I'm glad I did. It's an amazing debut, at least in my opinion. A lot of old school sounds on here. Production is a little more raw, so it sounds good. It doesn't sound bad at all. These guys this is their debut studio album, like I said. They look like pretty young guys here, so hopefully they'll be around for a while. Very cool. Impurity, The Eternal Sleep. It's a really good death metal album. So, if I do a top 10 death metal albums, I could see this being in there. So. Alright, also, I got this one a few days early, actually. This is the new Woad, Uncrossing the Keys. This is their 4th studio album, blackened heavy metal from the UK. Now, they started out more as a black metal band, and then kind of gravitated towards incorporating more heavy metal sounds in their music. So, I enjoy their albums. So I have their album Burning Many Mirrors, which was the one before this. Their debut, which I did get the debut. That's actually in my haul video here too. I should show them together, but this is the brand new stuff. This was released by 20 Buck Spin. So I'm really liking this one. So Burning Many Mirrors I thought was really good. But I'm liking this one too. Alright, and also I got this a few days early as well. The new Dead Heat, Process of Elimination, crossover thrash, hardcore. This is their 3rd studio album. This was released by Metal Blade from the US. And I have listened to this one because I was really pumped about this coming out. I've been a fan since they released their debut, Certain Death. I think that was in 2019. And yeah, I was really anticipating this when I saw it was coming out. So, there's the band there, lyrics. So I'm glad Metal Blade sent it early because I had a chance to listen to it. So, yeah, it's really good. It's thrashy as hell. There's a couple of tracks on here that are kind of like interludes, I guess. One's kind of like spacey, and the other one's more like a guitar interlude, but certainly doesn't ruin the album. I mean, bands do that, so. Alright, I will put this away later instead of trying to fight with it. Alright, that's the brand new stuff. So, and then the rest of this stuff is just adding to the collection, filling in gaps. And actually, I don't have anything from this band on vinyl. I have all their CDs except for their live one. It's Night Demon, Curse of the Damned. This is their debut studio album. And like I said, I have all their CDs. Now, they just put out a box set of this. These the colored vinyls that, as far as I know, these were just reissued last year. Their albums. So, but they did put out a box set of this. I want to say it was over the summer, like in July maybe. So, I thought about getting that, but I just passed on it. I'd probably just get the vinyl, which I probably will get the other vinyl, like the Outsider. Yeah, Night Demon, speed metal, heavy metal, really cool. I saw them live last year when they opened for King Diamond. Well, it was King Diamond, Overkill, and these guys. So they were good live, really good live. All right, next up is a band from the 80s. And I wasn't familiar with them when they first put out their first few albums, which was like in 84, 85, I think. But then a few years after that, like in the late 80s, a friend of mine had a cassette, like a mixtape cassette that I borrowed from him. And this band was on there with some other songs from these albums. So, and it's a band called Tyrant. They're also like heavy metal, kind of power, speed metal. And they put out 2 albums in the 80s. I think they broke up for a while, and then got back together because they put out 2 more albums. But they're pretty spread apart. I think they're still active, but just they haven't made any albums. They made one in the 90s and then maybe one in the 2010s, I think. So, but I haven't heard any of those 2 albums, just these. So Tyrant, I got these were reissued through Shadow Kingdom Records. So let me put this out of plastic. This is the one I listened to first. This is Too Late to Pray. Very 80s. Okay, fold with the lyrics and credits. Very cool, very nice. Around there, nice. Actually, this didn't come out in 85, I think it came out in 87. So, I know their first appearance of any kind was on a Metal Massacre. Maybe it was Metal Massacre 3, I think. Which I think came out in 82. Because if I'm not mistaken, Slayer was on the same one. Now here's the other one. I have listened to that one, but I haven't listened to this one. This is the debut, Legions of the Dead. Open. I haven't heard these songs in a long time, except for the one, Too Late to Pray, I did listen to, so. But this one I have not. Alright, nice. I did not check in the other one either for an insert, but I'll check in this one. Oh, pretty cool. This one's pretty shiny. It's like that, not matte finish, but like can't remember what they call it. So yeah, pretty nice. This kind of gives, it looks like this is kind of gives their history when they formed and stuff. So, alright, very cool. Those are the two releases from Tyrant in the 80s. 85 and 87. Alright, next up is the band Deadhead, Slave Driver. This is actually their last studio album that they put out, and I believe it was in 2022 or 2023. I also have their EP they put out last year, Shadow Soul, which was really good. I do have this on CD. Now, I'm not familiar. They're from the mid-90s, I believe, and they're from the Netherlands. This was put out by Hammerheart. So I'm not familiar with their super early stuff, like Kill Division, I know. Hotland, Houtland, I think that's how you say it. And then Swine Plague, I know those albums, so. And then this one, Slave Driver. So, I have not checked out their very early albums, so I plan to. I think one's called Dream Deceiver, if I'm not mistaken. Just on transparent blue. Dead. Oh, cool. These guys are like thrash, kind of death thrash, but they lean a little more thrash, but very cool band. Alright, and this is the Woad album. This is their debut, just self-titled. Their early albums, too, they only have 4, but the first 2, they were a lot more black metal. So, but they still sound black metal, just they're incorporating a lot more like heavy metal now. So, but it sounds good. Sounds really good. This was off $20 spin also, so I don't know if this is just a reissue or if it was. They've always been on $20 spin. Oh, very nice. All right, 2 more. This one, Trouble the Skull. This is their second studio album. Came out in 1985. Doom. Of course, the legendary Doom band from the US. This is just adding to my collection. I have pretty much all, I think I have everything of theirs on CD. Oh, I don't have Distortion Field. I think, yeah, the last one they made, I don't have that one. Coke Bottle Green, they call this. But I do have a few more of their albums. I have the debut. I have the self-titled. Well, they're kind of both self-titled, but then the debut was renamed Psalm 9. I've got Plastic Greenhead. And I think that's it, just those 3. Alright, the last vinyl is King Diamond, Abigail. This is probably my second favorite King Diamond album. The first being Conspiracy, but all his early stuff is amazing anyway. These are the Metal Blade reissues. So, but I have more King Diamond CDs than I do albums. So I've got them, Conspiracy, and now this one. So. And hopefully, maybe the King Diamond will have something out soon. I know he put out those 2 songs, was it in the springtime, I think? 2 videos, I remember seeing the videos, so. There's also blue, cobalt blue, it's called. I'll double check for an insert. I don't know if there's one. Oh, yeah. Alright. Very cool. King Diamond, Abigail. Alright, that's it. That's my vinyl. The two downloads I wanted to mention was from, the first one's from Violator, and their new album, Unholy Retribution, just came out maybe a month ago. They're from Brazil. They're thrash. And I want to say that that's their third studio album. Now, there is physical copies available, or maybe their fourth, because they've been around for a while, but they haven't put out studio albums consistently. They do have a few EPs. I do have their EP, Annihilation Process, and I have their second studio album, Scenarios of Brutality. But I don't have their other, their debut. I think it was called Chemical Assault. So I just found out about these guys maybe 10 years ago. I started getting into them around that time, maybe 10 years ago. But there is physical copies. They're on Kill Again Records, but the shipping is just it's just too much. So I passed on it. I downloaded it off Bandcamp. I'm hoping that Kill Again Records, I think has some of their stuff distributed through Hell's Headbangers. So I'm hoping that Hell's Headbangers will get their latest album, Unholy Retribution. So, like I said, I downloaded it off Bandcamp. I haven't listened to it yet, but yeah. So until there's another way to not pay so much shipping, I won't have a physical copy of that. Then the last one that I wanted to talk about, which I just discovered just recently, that there's a CD available, not vinyl, is a band called Basante. Now they're brand new. This is their debut studio album. They're Sludge Doom. It's called Mother Tempest, the name of the album. They're from Mexico. There's 7 songs on the album, and it's really good. It came out in February, I believe, at the end of February. I found out about it on somebody's YouTube channel maybe about a week after it was released, and so I checked it out and I downloaded it. So they didn't have any physical copies on their Bandcamp page, but I think they just got. Now I can't remember offhand the name of the company that's going to distribute their CDs, but I just ordered it like 3 days ago. So it doesn't ship until for another week. So I was pretty happy when I found that, but I did download it. It's really good. I sometimes forget about it because I don't have a physical copy of it. But I do. When I download stuff, I put it on a player of some type and listen to it that way. So, and I don't talk about downloads really on here. Just more, I just cover like physical copies, obviously CD and vinyl. So, but anyway, that's the one I wanted to mention. Basante was the last one from Mexico, like Sludge Doom. They do is it Napalm Death? They do a cover on that album. Can't remember what song it is. They also had an EP called The Beholder, which came out I think 5 years ago, and I did download that as well. So, but they're really good. If you want to check them out, Basante from Mexico. I'm gonna put a little word thing on the video so that people will know the spelling of it. So, well, anyway, I get my Testament album hopefully tomorrow or hopefully on Saturday. And then I'll probably do an unboxing. I got the vinyl and the CD. I didn't get the cassette. I was going to, but I don't play those anyway. They're just like collector's items for me. They're just collector's items. So I don't believe I got the cassette. And I got the vinyl and the CD for sure. So I'm trying to think of what else I got coming. Offhand, I just can't remember. I try to remember when I do these, but I don't. So, anyway, the coroner I talked about, I mentioned before. Anyway, before I drag this out, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.